Hello. Here is a brief explanation of the images and meanings of the next 10 poems from Prince Koresada's poetry competition. Aki no yo ni tare o matsu toka higurashi no yūguri goto ni nakimasaru ran. On an autumn night, who is it that you await, I wonder? The sundown cicadas, with each evening, cry ever louder. This poem is an exercise in evocative language, engoi in Japanese, starting with night, then continuing with higurashi, the name of an insect which is homophonous with an expression meaning sundown, and then having evening, yūgure. The vocabulary builds up a picture of the end of the day, just as autumn is at the end of the year. Implied behind the poet's question to the cicadas, though, is a question to a lady. Who is it that you're waiting for, he asks, that you should cry so piteously? There's no answer to the question, of course, but we can supply our own. She's crying because she knows her lover will never come. Aki kaze no fukikuru yoi wa kirigirisu, kusa no negoto ni koe midare keri. The autumn wind comes gusting late at night, when the crickets from every single blade of grass let out confused cries. Here we have another insect associated with autumn, the kirigirisu, which I've translated as cricket. The scene is this: a gust of wind has blown, disturbing the insects and making them chirp all of a sudden. The waka is a snapshot of that single moment, but it allows you, or at least it allows me, to imagine the aftermath as they settle back down to. Aki no yo ni kari kamo nakite wataru naru, waga omou hito no koto zute yaseru. On an autumn night, is that the geese are crying as they pass by? There is one I love, would you take a message to her? More geese in this poem, which, instead of referring to them as harbingers of autumn, draws on another belief, that they would carry messages between lovers. I've translated this as if the poet is a man asking the geese to take a message to his lady, but the original is ambiguous. It could just as well be a lady asking for a message to be taken to a man. Okutsuyu ni kuchiyuku nobe no kusa no haya, aki no hotaru do to nariwataru ramu. Dew falls on the rotting meadows where the blades of grass with the tired autumn fireflies do seem to sound. Well, quite an emphatic and unusual poem, this one, with the use of rotting, kuchiyuku, rather than withering, kareyuku, which was more commonly used about autumn. There's also the use of fireflies, hotaru, which were more often used in summer poems. In fact, there are a number of discussions between participants in the poetry contest in 600 rounds, 600番 uta'awase, which took place 200 years after this one, about whether it's acceptable at all to use fireflies in an autumn poem, although the judge, Fujiwara no Shunzei, says quite firmly that it is. Finally, fireflies weren't known for making a noise either, so that's unusual too. I can imagine later critics, such as Shunzei, saying this poem is a bit of a mess. Aki kaze ni sumu yomogyu no kare yukeba, koe no koto goto mushizo nakunaru. With the autumn wind, their home, the mugwort, begins to wither, so every single insect cries out. I find this poem quite moving. We have the air of desolation and abandonment brought by the reference to mugwort, but this is the only place the insects have to call home. With autumn, though, it's dying off, just as the insects are, so all they can do is bemoan their sorry lot. Miru goto ni aki ni mo aru ka tatsuta hime, momiji somuto ya yama wa kiru ran. Each time I see her, is it autumn? Princess Tatsuta, I wonder, is she dyeing scarlet leaves so that she may wear the mountains? Back to Princess Tatsuta, the deity of autumn here, and the common poetic conceit that the scarlet leaves on the mountainside were akin to brocade, a material which was used to make clothes, even though brocade isn't mentioned explicitly in the poem. The idea of material is further evoked by the use of the verb wear, kiru, as this was homophonous with the verb meaning cut, as in cut out a piece of cloth. As I said in an earlier video, the tatsu of tatsuta also evoked the verb tatsu, meaning sew. The poet imagines that the goddess is going about her job of causing the autumn colours to appear, all so that she can adorn herself with them. Hitoshirenu namida ya sora ni kumoritsutsu, aki no shigure to furimasaru ramu. Unknown to all, with tears the skies are ever clouded, the autumn drizzle seems to fall the harder. You could be forgiven for thinking that this isn't much of an autumn poem at all, and you'd be right, as the introduction of the season is delayed until after the initial statement about tears. The poet is gazing up at the rainy autumn sky, their eyes filled with tears. This means they can't tell whether their vision is blurred from the tears in their eyes or the raindrops falling upon their face. Aki kureba, yama toyomu made naku shika ni, ware o tarame ya, hitori nuru yo wa. When the autumn comes, the mountains echo with the belling stags. Will they lose to me these nights I sleep alone? The poet can hear stags crying out for their mates, with the sound echoing round the mountain where he's staying. A bit overdramatically, I think, he claims that the animals' cries will be drowned out by the sound of his own weeping as he's forced to sleep alone. Kare no mi to ua no sora naru namida koso, aki no tamoto no tsuyu to okurame. The geese simply from the skies above do drop their tears. It is in autumn that my sleeves seem to gather dewdrops. Back to geese again, and the belief that they wept tears as they flew over. Conventionally, these were tears of blood and a source of autumn colours, but to cry hard enough to weep tears of blood, a person had to be very sad indeed. This sense of sadness, at the beginning of the poem, is reinforced by the reference to dew upon the poet's sleeves at the end, summoning up an image of tears at the melancholy of autumn. Yamagawa no takitsuse shibashi yoroma naru, aki no momiji no iro tomete mimu. The mountain river's rapids seem briefly stilled. Autumn's scarlet leaves, hues have halted it, I see. I find this a very visually arresting poem, with its image of a mountain river, which usually runs fast and strong, reduced to a trickle because it's been blocked by a great mass of autumn leaves. That's it for now. More to come.